Hi, Neil Lazarus here, and here's another broadcast when news in Israel is going wild. Stelansky, the philanthropist who gave Ehud Olmert over $150,000, was in court yesterday describing his activities, giving envelopes to the Prime Minister when he was the head of Jerusalem, or Mayor of Jerusalem, and also the Minister of Trade and Industry. This corruption story is hitting all the headlines here in Israel today, and causes a sensation. In the next hour or so, the Labour Party is looking like it's going to make a statement, and it could well be that they will leave the government or threaten to leave the government if Ehud Olmert doesn't resign. Elections are in the air. Doesn't necessarily mean that there will be elections, for the very simple reason that no one wants elections because Benjamin Netanyahu could probably win. Labour Party will probably try and get the Kadima Party to leave, or force Ehud Olmert to leave, and get him replaced by probably Tzipi Livni, the foreign minister. Meanwhile, the second biggest story here this week was the news that Israel had been secretly negotiating with Syria via Turkey. Now, this story with Syria over the Golan Heights is very interesting because, one, it provided a diversion for approximately 32 seconds here in Israel from the major story, which was the corruption story of Ehud Olmert. It served Olmert's purposes, but at the same time, the story also serves Assad's purposes because it now enables him to say, look, America, George Bush may be ignoring me, saying I'm part of the axis of evil, but the Israelis are talking. So the reality is you actually have two parties, Israel and Syria, interested in talking about peace. I'm not sure they're going to make peace. Meanwhile, rumors are abound about an immediate ceasefire with Hamas. Part of the problem with the ceasefire with Hamas is that we know that it will only be a matter of time before the escalation of violence starts again. And so Israel, on the one hand, is reluctant to get into a ceasefire, has put Gilad Shalit, the imprisoned Israeli soldier, as part of the conditions of the ceasefire. But on the other hand, may well be willing to move towards some form of lull, if you like, with the Hamas, to play for time. Our biggest concern is also what's happening in the north at the moment. Hezbollah's victory in its standoff with the Lebanese government has shown that the real party in control in Lebanon today is Hezbollah. What we're seeing is today the effects of Iran throughout the Middle East. You're seeing an Iranian base in Gaza, even though the Hamas government is Sunni and Iran is Shiite. Iran is providing weapons for Hamas. The Grad missile, the Katyusha rocket which hit Ashkelon, is Iranian. And at the same time, they're supporting Hezbollah. Why? Because the big standoff is yet to come between the West and Iran. And Iran is very happy to have Gaza, Lebanon, and Iran, a three-front war with Israel. Which comes back to the issue of Syria. Whilst I suggest there are political reasons for both sides wanting peace, the Olmert corruption story, the Assad legitimacy against Bush, there is another purpose. Israel may be genuinely willing to talk to the Syrians about the Golan Heights because it would break that northeastern coalition which is being built, namely Iran, Shiites within Iraq, Syria, even though they're run by Alawites, to align themselves with Iran, and Lebanon. If that Syrian link could be removed, strategically would be very important for Israel. I have my doubts, as I suggested, and I think both sides are more interested in talking about peace than actually talking about peace. And if you actually have a look at the headlines recently, you'll see that Syria has denied that it's going to break any relationships with Iran. So I think it was a lot of talk, a few headlines, but I don't think anything too seriously will come from it. So what we're seeing right now like I said, are three major fronts. Lebanon, a change in the balance of power there. 2, Hamas getting stronger. Abu Mazen has threatened to resign if he can't make peace with the Israelis, the Palestinian Fatah president. And at the same time, corruption scandals. Effectively, we have a lame duck president in the United States who was more welcomed in the Israeli parliament than he is at home. We have an Israeli prime minister who is on his way out. And we have a Palestinian president who is very, very weak against Hamas forces. So peace, at the moment, it looks like it's going to be on a back burner. The real issue, like I keep saying, is Iran.